Hello guys, once again this is Noxter with another episode of MineCraze Cosmos. This is episode 7, and I said on the last episode that today I was going to be showing you the mob farm, so that statement was true. So, we've got our lovely grave, once again, and what this opens into, it's just a lovely little mausoleum type. We've got some armor hanging up on the wall and a body in the coffin. And this painting, it's just a big blob of a question mark. This is the painting that in the default pack has that thing with the wither. When I was first updating this, I wasn't quite sure whether that was like a special rare one or only occurred in certain circumstances or something like that, or whether what to do with it, so I haven't bothered to find a texture for it, but it'll probably be something, have to find something that's appropriate to fit in here. Now this looks like this is all that's here, but from out here, this grave looked like all that was here. So the fact is that there is, in fact, a fact of there being a factual secret entrance here. I'll mention when I built this that it was a bit absurd, the idea of having a super secret entrance with a hidden button and then showing everyone where it was. So for this occasion I'm not going to show you how you open this. I will say it's something you do in this room. You don't need to break or place anything. You don't need any specific items to open it. So there's nothing like you need a specifically named piece of paper that's got a password of a map or something on it. But yeah, I'll probably show you eventually, but for now I'm just going to cut out and show you with it open. Once again, there's a button inside, works on the T flip-flop principle. You can just close it from inside. So yes, this place is still a very untidy mess. I haven't bothered clearing out all the walls and digging out all the rest of the stuff. You can hear some noises happening behind there. Still a bit of a mess, tubey things, which, let's get all the way down to the main control panel. There's a lot of chests over there, we'll get to those. This is the main control panel of everything, and some of these things work a little bit. So, I previously obviously was experimenting with mob sorting, and I said that I wasn't able to really get it working at all decently, but I did come up with a compromise. So that's basically, I figured that all I really needed, for the most part, was the creepers separated from everything else. Like, for the other purposes, zombies and skeletons, there's some things you could do with them separate, but it's not that important for my purposes. My purposes, the main thing is to have the creepers, so what I've come up with is a creeper filter, which was actually, I'll show you that part. That was those noises we just heard. Basically, it involves a lot of these iron guys. And you can guess where I got the iron to build them. I'm inside of them. Guys come flowing past here in the stream. Now this is only 1.5 blocks tall because of these slabs here, so they can't escape. And these guys are a bit crazy and just beat them up. And they only beat up, well, not quite only the zombies and skeletons. They do occasionally beat up creepers. Did some random testing. There was some suggestion on the wiki that it's only when they're already damaged a bit. For my test it just seemed completely random, and most of the creepers they still let escape. So let's explain the logic of this, because there are 4 different levers, which technically means there's like 500 million different combinations. Sign, this is the main power switch here. This goes to the lights in the spawner. So this allows mobs to spawn. And from there, if the mobs spawn, they come, if we just follow the logic of this, they come down to this switch, and these other switches are like gates or track switches. If you have like a railway or something, they send the mobs either one way or the other. So this one, actually these two aren't actually hooked up to anything yet, but they will be. This one will control whether we send the mobs through that creeper filter, or if they all get collected together. Sending through the creeper filter will send them to this switch, which will then decide some other things. Sending the other way sends them to this switch, which does work, and this switches between holding and auto kill. What auto kill does is it pumps them into a bit of lava. All their drops are collected and pumped or taken into the master sorting system, which is all this mess of stuff. And we're going to use this in a few other situations, but if this switches up, what will happen is instead of going to that auto kill, they're going to get flowed up around somewhere and dropped right down in here and taken down to about half a heart of damage, so they can be a one-hit kill. And that's useful if you want a bit of extra experience, or if you want to try and collect the rare drops from the zombies and skeletons, and especially helpful if you have a looting 3. So let's have a look at this master sorting system. There are 4 types of drops that we're getting out of this. Well, 5, but the other one's a special case. So the main 4 are from skeletons we get bones and arrows, from zombies we get rotten flesh, and from creepers we get gunpowder. So all the items flow across here. This is basically the same design as I sorted stuff in the KFC, a little bit bigger and less of a mess of tricky wiring and more of a logical pattern. Basically what that ends up happening is pumping stuff through an array of double chests. So that can store, it's like, I think something like 5 or 6 double chests capacity. And it all filters down into this one chest for storage. So there we've got a lot of bones. And it only looks like we have one chest, but there's actually several. And the same with all of these things. This is for records, which is that special case, which we're going to work on in a little bit. Gunpowder, there's a bunch of that. Not as much as some of the other drops, because I've used some recently. And at the moment this is just a bit of a derp setup. I've just got random workbench, furnace and chest for junk. I'll try and figure out a nicer system for that. But as you can see, guys in here, if we hit them with our fist, the zombies have a little bit of armor naturally, so they always take 2 hits, but everything else should be a one-hit kill. So let's just have that back on auto kill. And I'll just put this junk away. At the moment, we will get a bit of a problem if you need to do this and these chests are already full, so I'm thinking I might want to have like some sort of just dump thing. I can just dump everything in and it pumps it back up through the sorting system again. Alright, so that's this lever. If we do have the creeper filter on, what happens with those iron golems? Anything they kill, their drops will stay in the water and get flowed back into another stream, which also goes through the sorting system, so you're not losing anything by having the creeper filter on. But, so yeah, that's what happens to them. Then afterwards all the creepers get carried on to the next junction, which this lever will control. One of them just sends them down in here, and it's the same as that side. They're just taken to half a heart of damage, so we can easily kill them. And the reason you want to do that is obviously, well maybe not obviously, but so we can use a sword with looting on it and get more gunpowder if we want large amounts of gunpowder, which we do. There's no one in their right mind who does not want large amounts of gunpowder. So what we need to work on now is actually building the record factory. So this lever, we want to send creepers. Now, records, for those of you who aren't aware, a creeper, if it's killed by being shot by a skeleton, will drop a record. And that's the principle of record production. So I think I figured out a design, and by I think I've got one that works perfectly in creative. I've come up with a design that allows us to produce records fully automatically. All we need to do is insert the creepers. So, in here we have a skeleton, and I've given him a leather cap that's dyed green, so he looks cool with his little goggles that they have. Hello! Ouch. So yes, hopefully he'll stay there, and hopefully we won't accidentally kill him. Now, the tricky part comes with how do we get that guy to shoot? He just doesn't shoot at creepers. He shoots at something he's annoyed at. So we're going to have something over here that's going to annoy him. Snow pumpkins. You can guess what that's going to be. So the trick is, though, we don't want him to be able to kill that thing, because then he'll stop being annoyed at it. Now, there is a weird thing that happens if a creeper does kill a skeleton kills a snow golem. The skeleton still keeps shooting at where it was until it gets distracted by something else. However, they're going to forget about that once the chunk gets unloaded for any reason, because it's not saved if they're aggro on something. So there's that fact. Also, the other thing, you can just still have the golem there and have a way of protecting him. But yes. In any case, if he gets unloaded, he's going to forget he's angry at the snow golem. So, after lots of tests and things, I sort of accidentally figured out a way that we can actually have it possible to be where the snow golem can still hit the skeleton, but the skeleton can't shoot him back. So this is what we're going to do. Let's grab some of these, just to make it a different sort of block. So, a piston is the trick, or part of the trick, for two reasons. One, when there are no creepers in the system, we don't want the skeleton to be continually firing and things to be happening and lag and whatnot. So we want to be able to just shut it off and not worry about it. The other thing is we want, let's see, where does it go? I think it should be up here. Just a quick double check, because I did take a few screenshots just to make it more obvious. Yep. Here and here we have blocks, and we grab, not from there, a couple tripwire hooks. So what we're going to do is we're going to detect when the skeleton fires by his arrow will bump this tripwire. Actually, I think it's supposed to go lower because, yeah, that's the ground level. I think. I could be completely wrong and making a mess out of everything, as often happens. Let's clear some of this space. Alright, so try that again. Just get these out of the way because we don't need them. And... Oop. That was weird. Very strange sensation. Hello, I grabbed some cobblestone. There it is. Thank you. Weird lagginess happening. Alright, so in theory, providing this works properly, which I do not have 8 of those, and I have string somewhere. Hello? Hello? Thank you. Now, may I have my string back? Any time would be nice. There we are. Okay, inventory's been a bit strange at the moment. So in theory, if I stand here, okay, are these tripwires actually connected? No, that string did not actually get... what? Okay, this is a bit of a mess. No, I'm not using those. I'm going to relog real quick. Alright, that's more like it. So if I'm in here, you heard that click when he shot me in the face? That means his arrow hit this thing on the way. So all we need to do is wire that up so when that happens it powers the piston. Which, once again, let's just make sure we're doing it the same way I did it before. Alright. We're going to take the power from behind this block, because it also wants to power this block. I think I'll step up to that. Da-de-da-de-da. We're going to go to here, to here, to here. Now we've made it all dark. Whack the torch back. Alrighty, redstone. Just the thing we need. So what should happen now is every time he shoots, it'll hit that tripwire and the piston will go pop and become a shield for us and catch the arrow. Seems to be working. Alright, so that's one of the main things. The other main thing, we also want to connect it up to here, because in here there is a trapdoor, which we can't really see very well from here. And that's where the creepers are going to fall. And they're going to fall down here and land on the trapdoor, hopefully take a bit of damage, so they won't take so many shots to kill. And then we're going to have another tripwire up in here that can detect when there's a creeper standing on that trapdoor. Alright, like so. And then yet another one in here, which will detect if there's a creeper standing down here. So we want the creepers to fall there and activate this thing up so the skeleton starts shooting. And once he is shooting, we can drop the creeper into here until he gets shot. That's the plan. So in order to do that, should be pretty simple. We're going to take a wire, we need to connect this up to this, which we just went like so. So both these tripwires are going to power the same thing, and the thing they're going to power is a redstone torch. Ah, there's a block in there sitting on that thing. Redstone torch, which will go there, I believe. Doesn't matter how we did it then, what matters is how we're going to do it now, and we're going to do it like this. So at the moment, the piston is up, meaning even if we were here, the skeleton wouldn't shoot us because he knows there's something in the road. Let's make a bit of a headroom so we can get up here and test that out. Yep. So he's not shooting, but as soon as we have a creeper, and for the moment we'll just stick some string on there. Okay, something that broke then in the process. I think there's one of his arrows or something stuck in place that's keeping something down, maybe. It's a bit of a problem. Yeah, apparently that arrow was keeping it down. But yes, hopefully that's will have just been because we were in the wrong position at the start. So at the moment he can't see us. can. He still managed to shoot me just then. So I think, well, actually, for one, there'll be a ceiling up here. Because I think he's shooting me from the top. Lag spike. Alright. Thank you for your help, sir. So, in other words, we don't want the creepers to be in here if the skeleton is not already trying to shoot the snow golem. Because otherwise the snow golem won't be able to hit him to make him try and do that. Because of the fact that he'll hit the creeper instead. He'll be in the way. So that's what this trapdoor up here is for. So the creeper starts by falling on the trapdoor, but that activates this tripwire as well as when he's in there. So that means that piston will drop, allowing the skeleton, the snow golem, to start having it off. And once that happens, this thing, which, as we saw before, it'll get triggered by the arrow shot by the skeleton, and it also flicks the trapdoor open, dropping the creeper down into here and keeping on this tripwire. So that he's now in the path of all the arrows. So we've got our guy in there. Let's see what happens. We just need to say something like that. That's going to be our imaginary creeper for the moment. If we can get it in the right spot. Let's give him a bit of a better clearance. Ow. Stop shooting me. Alright, so we finally got a hit. And skeleton is keeping on shooting. As soon as our creeper's gone, that stops happening. Perfect! Alright, so now all we need to do is get the creepers down in here. And have a hopper in there to collect the record that gets dropped. So in order to do that, let's clear some space. We make a chest. We make a hopper. And the hopper's going to go in a place we can't reach because of the tripwires in the way. But it's going to go right here. Yeah? No, higher. Alright, so now let's get some creepers in there, shall we? apart from the fact we forgot to put this back and one of the records fell out. Hopefully that should stop that from happening mostly. So that seems to be in good working order. Our next trick is to take these items, separate the gunpowder from the records, send the gunpowder into just the main storage system, There we go. Yeah, so we need to send the gunpowder into the main storage system and send the records into the record storage system. Now, the problem is with records, they don't stack. I wonder if he's getting distracted because he keeps seeing me. Actually, no. That thing has gone up. Oh, the thing's stuck in there somehow. Triggering that again. So there may be a little bit of troubleshooting here that needs to be worked out. Possibly. Anyway, I'll work on that. But, yeah, as we said, yeah, the problem with records, they don't stack. So that it's impossible to sort them at all. Like, you can't sort them according to type and you can't separate them from other things that way. But we know we've got only creepers in here, which means they're only going to drop records on gunpowder, and we can separate out gunpowder. Well, that was weird. So we have to set up a sorting system that will take away the gunpowder, and everything that's left will be a record. So we're just going to group all the records together in the one set of chests. Ooh, there goes another one. Okay, there are 4. Let's see. I ended up just hooking up the items that creepers drop, having a thing hoppers them up, spits them out into a particle accelerator which just carries them over through the main sorting system again, and after all the other things have been filtered out, everything that makes it past that goes into the records. Ideally I would have liked to have a separate filter just after the creeper bit to get the records, because this way, if for any other reason something else somehow manages to get in there, it's gonna mess it up. Well, not really mess it up, they'll just get counted as a record. Still not in there. Let's test this out. If we throw in 2 bricks, they should wind up in here. Sounds like there might be a blockage of some description. Making it through here. Interesting. And they're not in here, right? I've got a bit of an idea. I think I know what I might have done. Here's the culprit. This chest here has a block above it, which means I can't open it. Now, an interesting fact, if you can't open a chest, a hopper cannot access it. See? It's all stopped there. these guys out. Alrighty. So that seems to be working quite nicely. I have to observe it for a little bit, see if there's any more of those hitches where the thing got stuck. Other thing I need to do, of course, is hook up these levers now that the things they go to are properly functional. So that'll be a bit of a pain. I've got to get the wire, figure out how to get it to where the switches are. But yeah, I'll be working on that. So it seems that occasionally, for no good reason, some of the things that have gone into the sorter have come all the way through and ended up in the chest with the records. Don't know why. Been done various tests to see whether it's, you know, if you have a whole heap coming at once, sometimes it will glitch out or whatever. But I haven't been able to produce it consistently with any testing. So that's a bit weird. I just throw things in. Well, they're not going to make it because they need to go into this hopper. Oh, first one, rather. But, so the only thing I can figure is for some reason it's not going. It's crossing on top of the hopper. And these hoppers don't get powered at all. Obviously, if a hopper gets powered, it won't suck things in. That includes things that fall on the top. But, oops. Yeah, but the sorting mechanism is designed so that that never happens. These hoppers are, or the ones that do the sucking, are always sucking. Basically, hoppers suck. But I have hooked up all the wires from all these levers, so now I can control the whole thing from here. So if we turn the filter on, send the creepers that way, we can turn them onto recording. As you can see, we've already got a chest full, and then the hopper above that is also full, which doesn't take much because it's only 5 slots. But then the chest above that is, see, there we go. Oh no, that might have been the ones from before that I threw in. But yeah, nearly got a whole row in there. So more records than anyone should really ever need, which is, in my opinion, the best quantity I have of anything. So as far as this project goes, that's mostly done. Maybe see if I can figure out how to fix that or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of this space. I want to clear all these things out, make it all this bricks of stone and stuff. Make it look nice. There'll be a wall there, so you won't see all this. It'll all be behind the scenes. Again, lots of other features I might eventually add, like a better place to store other things. Maybe that return chest we talked about, so that if you have excess stuff you can feed it back into the system, and a chest. Basic stuff, I don't know what we'll need. So maybe I'll just put it in places like this or something. Needs a bit more lighting around here, because it gets a bit dark. But yeah, so a lot of tidying up, but the basic functionality is there now. And that's pretty much everything I want to do. So, yeah. Ooh, it's thundering outside. There's always villages around here. Well, these are the 2 parents that I've got. Loud. Yeah, but just like the cows and things we were talking about, these guys, once they grow up, like to walk into walls and kill themselves. So at the moment it looks like there's 1 guy, but sometimes there'll be 2. Sometimes one will be grown up. But it's generally different every time you come down here, which is kind of nice. Sort of. In a vague way. Anyway, so I'm going to, as far as this project goes, I'm going to say we're done for now for this episode. Some other things, I've started preparing for the Wither Skull farm, which I mentioned we might be doing. I've prepared a fortress, went to the fortress, prepared it, looked around, decided how I would do it, set it all up, ready to start building how I would do it, then decided I'd do it slightly differently. So I've got to take that all down. I've also started collecting resources. So one of the thoughts was whether I wanted to do like a high efficiency system with pistons that push the guys down and stuff, or whether just to have a big spawning pad and you can wander around and kill them all. And I've decided on doing the first one, so it's requiring quite a lot of pistons and redstone, well, to make the pistons and to power it, and a lot of string because I'm using tripwires. Let's take some shelter in here. So yeah, I've been progressing. I've got lots of stuff that's happened already. I've got enough pistons, I think, to do the first row and some of the other setup and stuff, and collected a bunch of string. It's pretty much, I've just got to go there and get started. Obviously I want it to be 4 layers high, and that's going to take just the earth worth of iron and redstone, but iron's not really a problem. Well, it's a problem because... Dude, you're ruining the illusion. Get out of here. That's even worse! Some people. Yeah, so... Iron... We've got an iron farm, but obviously it's not the fastest iron farm in the world, so it's still going to take time. But, as I said, I have got enough to do the first layer. So I'll show you. I've just been storing it down here for now. Added a few more hoppers in here, like I suggested I might do. Here it is. All these guys. Still need more redstone and some more other stuff. String, I think's back on the top. And I'll show you the jungle tree farm. I've pretty much finished now. One problem is because it's so low you get this void fog effect and you can't really see high, but it's kind of cool when you start climbing the walls, the whole thing just goes woof into view. Ideally you want to wait till all the vines have grown everywhere to call it completely finished. So the idea of this design, these vines up here, they all hang down just 2 blocks from here. And then there's a layer of string over the whole place, so we can just climb across the ceiling. And there's a tree, an unsuspecting tree. You can just go do 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 do, whee, and get right to the top. Obviously, a lot of the time it'll be close enough to the edge that we could just climb across from here, and specifically helpful for the shorter trees. And we can always ender pearl, but I like having things so that we don't have to depend on having ender pearls. So that's the idea behind this. And to get that to work, you just need to have every space being a vine, essentially. And to do that, you have to sort of do this step up the ceiling so that it can hang all over the place. It's a little bit annoying getting the corners in because they don't always spread to the corners. So I had to do a few tricks to get that to happen. Still waiting for this guy to fill up. But that's an aesthetic thing, not a functional thing. But yeah, vines are pretty cool like this. So yeah, that's the room, and yeah, I've got one with the endstone, or as I like to call it, enderak, and one with netherak, so you sort of got the nether and the ender trees, just to make it a bit more interesting. So that's done. Yeah, I think, well, depending on how I can go with the wither farm over the next few days, the next episode may involve withering of some description. It may not. And if it does, hopefully I can also, next project what I want to get started on is the lighthouse. So that'll be coming up soon too, hopefully, depending on various things. So yeah, lots of things that depend on other things, so can't say for sure, but hey, that's a surprise. That's what's make things fun, funness, enjoyability. You never know what you're gonna see. So in this case, I'm going to call it a day, because I haven't really got much to show you at the moment, other than the things I just showed you, other than a few other things that we can show you later or just keep secrets. But yeah, I'm going to call it a day, so thank you for watching. Please feel free to leave an appropriate form of feedback if you want to like, subscribe, blah-de-blah-de-blah, one of those fancy things that people do. And I'll see you next time in the cosmos for whatever I end up doing then. This has been Noxter. Still will be Noxter, but you won't be here, so that's not really your concern. Goodbye. And it's probably advisable to keep the creepers out of there while you're working, or they blow the rubbish out of everything.